Okay, carburetor 2 is fully assembled and cleaned. Carburetor 4, I just opened up the bottom, and again we have the yellow residue in here and a little bit of liquid in there, but not much. So this one probably wasn't getting much fuel as well. And then I went to measure the float bowl depth, and you can see as I push this up, the valve is engaged at about here, and then there's another 2-3 millimeters in there. So that would imply that we were getting very little fuel. Instead of having the 8.3 millimeters of float bowl height, we had something like, let's say 10, 12. So pretty much when the bowl, the cover came on, there was maybe room for a little bit of fuel, and that was about it. So this probably wasn't even able to like suck fuel up. So yeah, definitely will need to adjust this one. Alright, carburetors are finally all assembled. We have the throttle working. As you can see, it's moving on the other side as well. We have the choke working on all sides. And I also installed and adjusted the return and the throttle cables, the push and pull. I put them in the middle of these, since before I wasn't able to actually get a good hang on how to adjust them, but now they're actually in the middle, so that will leave adjustment on the top, which is this end. Another thing I've done is I've plugged up this hole. This used to be a hose that went from the crankcase into the inlet box. The reason I've plugged it up is I'm currently running that hose that used to be here down to the floor, because I ran into the case where that hose started spilling oil into my intake, which made a whole mess. So I don't want it doing that anymore. We just want air coming in from this side. The other thing that I've done is I've replaced a little bolt on the choke mounting point, choke cable mounting point, and pretty much all that remains is to put it on the bike. Alright, so while I have the carburetor still off, I'm actually going to double check the valve adjustment on the back cylinder, just to make sure that I did it properly last time. Now I actually have two measuring feel gauges, so I can actually do it properly instead of bending one of them. So that's kind of what it looks like with two. So I'm just going to quickly adjust everything, and then we're going to move on with the rest of the stuff. Alright, so I got the carbs almost on, so they're loose as you can see. What I wanted to show you is the method that I used to get the carburetors back on. A lot of people have a lot of trouble with the V4 and getting the carburetors on because you can't really push this way. You really got to push this way or that way to get them in. Then you only get half of them, and then it's very difficult to get the other half. So the trick that I use is I actually use the rubber boots to my advantage. So you'll see the rubber boot is actually diagonally on, such that when we press down, it will go on properly. Now it's seated on the top part on the engine, and on this side on the carburetor. Same thing is done to this one. So it's leaned forward, so this part is on the engine, this part is on the carb. And on the other side, we have the same thing. So here it's even more pronounced, as you can see. Engine, carb, carb, engine. So essentially, the idea is that when you have it like that, and I just press down, it just goes in nicely. So to show you, let's set up the camera. What I do is I just straddle the bike and press. on straight here, straight here, straight here, straight here. And all I have to do is tighten the brackets. Well, pretty easy. Okay, moment of truth. Everything's assembled. Fuel screws are on 2 3/4. Fuel is on. Everything is on. So let's see. Let's give it some choke just to make sure. Oh yeah, that sounds quite a bit different. That's already, this cylinder is definitely running. That's 64. That's 60 and rising. That's running as well. 75, that's running. 80, that's running. All right, we're finally running on all 4 cylinders. The bike sounds quite different. Oh, needs to warm up. Oh, that is a very different beast. Now that the bike is warmed up, choke is off. It's actually quite different, and it sounds pretty mean. So let's take it for a ride. That is a very different beast. That's what I'm talking about. The bike pulls so hard. I mean, definitely twice the power I was experiencing before. Absolutely, the V4 is a beast. Wow. Night and day. Alright guys, that was it for this episode. We fixed the 2-cylinder running problem, finally. The bike is so much more performant. So make sure to subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications when new videos become available. Check me out on Instagram, and thanks for watching.